What's up, everybody? How's it going? How you guys doing? What is going on? Let me just make sure. We gotta make some adjustments really quick. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What is up, everybody? Here we go. We are live. Back at it again. Hold on. We're going to wait for some people to just roll in. What's up? What's up? We're doing a very early live today, so I do apologize. Breaking news. We got breaking news today, you guys. If you want to call it breaking news. Let me just make sure we let everybody know that we are live on the Discord. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We are live now. I guess people aren't really... I guess a lot of my crowd is really for the late night lives, huh? Unless everybody's out. Let's turn on comments. There you go. Comments are on. Yo, you guys, we are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. For the very first time, we're streaming on Kick. So any of you guys can pick your poison. We're on either. All right, you guys. Where are we at? What's up, everybody? What's up, Chloe? Sydney's here. Delay. Jad's here. Barbara Bish. Ash Bash. Welcome back. Hey, hey, hey. Eileen's here. And you guys, if you guys are on YouTube, just know we are streaming on both vertical and landscape. So you guys can choose which live you want. In the event that you don't like the vertical lives, click on my profile. Click on lives, and both of them should pop up. The one with the little phone icon means that it's the mobile version, so you can choose which one you want to see. But it does show that we're streaming on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube, so this should be fun. I know, right, Barbara Bish? You love the early bird special? I know, this is pretty early for us. This is really early. And normally I'd be streaming like at 9 p.m. or whatnot, but it's Saturday. So I get it. People are out. How can you send subs? To be honest with you, I don't even know if we're monetized yet as a Twitch partner on Twitch, but we're working on it, the boss. We're working on it. Yeah, I think we're working on trying to get monetized, so we'll figure that out. I'll figure it out after the show. I know that there was some stuff that I had to fill out, but we're working on it. We're working on it. All right, you guys. So yesterday, what happened? A lot of stuff happened, right? In the Celeste Rivas Hernandez world. Shazza, how's it going? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Did I shout everybody out yet? Margarita Idol on Twitch. The Boss on Twitch. Who else is on Twitch? Okay, we got some people on Twitch, which is cool. Where's everybody tuning in from on this Saturday morning here in LA? Yeah, we got that lo-fi music in the background. Make it really chill, you know? It's kind of how we do it around here. How am I feeling? How's the ears? They feel like they're going to fall off, you guys. I feel like I've got knives just jammed into my ears. I've never actually jammed knives into my ears, but... Come here, buddy. Somebody wanted to say hi. They haven't made their appearance in a while. This is Yoshi. Let me just bring him back up because he hasn't had an appearance in a while. So Yoshi's over here chilling, trying to get me to get off already, but we just started, you guys. We just started. So this guy sheds like crazy. Ugh. Nurse Janice, welcome. Long time no see. How's it going? Yeah, right. You really can't talk about a dog without showing him. Got all his fur. Hey, Yoshi. Everybody's saying hi. Sorry, you guys. I'm not used to these early streams, so I'm just waiting for people to show up. Anyways, how's everybody doing? There's Janice said, I know I end up watching you watching after you have gone live. Well, it's good to have you here during an actual live. Everything is well so far. I'm just nursing a double ear infection, so we're going to see how this goes, see how this treats us. We just started antibiotics yesterday, so that's always fun. Always fun. Carenza, welcome. Family from the UK is in the house. All right, you guys. So anyways, we'll just go ahead and get started. So yesterday, TMZ put out an article regarding one of David's closest allies, I guess you can say, or former allies, Neo Langston, right? This article here states that Neo calls the singer a D-head, and I know you guys all know what that is, right? And he claims that he knows a lot. So we're just going to kind of review this article from yesterday. We'll kind of talk about this, and then we'll jump into kind of some of the new stuff, right? Miss Jams, welcome. Yep, this is a shocker. So early for you, Flojo. I know. Shout out to all the people doing early lives. Definitely not my cup of tea, but we do what we can, right? But anyways, David's good friend Neo is a friend no more. At least that's the way it seems based on how he is privately torching the singer. Neo, as you know, was arrested last month on January 22nd, right, for failing to appear before a grand jury in the apparent murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and David is the prime suspect. Neo, who appeared before the grand jury for only 40 minutes, clearly did not offer much info, but now he says he knows a lot. Oh, Lord. And so yesterday he put out a story on Instagram to his close friends and basically was saying, thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way. And boy, do I got all the receipts for things. In his diabolical laugh, right? According to Neo's private Instagram post posted on Friday and shared via close friends, he says, thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way, and boy, do I got all the receipts for things. And then the 23-year-old streamer drops the hammer. I told so many people that I trust that I thought knew me well as a person, my side of things, all for that to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested and they slap that D-head's name next to mine. Then he continues to say, and for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged, and they never filed it. His warrant was actually retracted because there is more to this story than what's on the news. All of a sudden, right? Yeah, very weird. How you guys feel about that, you guys? He just went on a total rampage. He goes on and says, and for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged. They never filed it, and my warrant was retracted because there is more to the story than what's on the news. Key words. He told so many people, right? Always get receipts. Right. Like so, he will do more streams for the East Coasters. Yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to get here as early as possible. Kalohi, how's it going? Welcome. How you doing, Kalohi? Now he's a lawyer, huh? I know. Neo's riding the waves. I bet you, if Neo's here, type 1 in the chat. We know that they're listening. Shazza says, why now is what I'm wondering. I think we're all wondering the same thing, right? Like, why now? Why now does he decide to speak out? We're doing good over here, Chloe. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing okay, right? We're a little under the weather, dealing with the double ear infection. Kind of embarrassing to say, right? I feel like only little kids get ear infections, but somehow, some way, I got one. So we're on antibiotics. I don't even know the last time I had an ear infection, but this shit hurts. It's quite painful. I can barely hear. He could have gone to the police a long time ago, and he didn't. He had to get arrested, right? He failed to appear, but apparently, what's it called? He didn't, right? Him saying the warrants was retracted made me think about that comment his mom left. The one he left on our page, Chloe? Defending him? Who has that? Somebody has that screenshot. Hold on, let me look for it, because this one was good, and I do have to share it because it really made me think about it. Because hold on, I just gotta find it. I gotta find it. I have to look this up here. Let me make sure I'm looking for the right thing. Hold on. We're pulling up some old Reddit receipts. Because there was a comment that was made in one of the Reddit threads that possibly made us believe that his family was defending him on social media. Let me pull this up really quick, though. I got to save it and then bring it over. Hold on. We're working on it. Hang tight, you guys. We're really not used to doing early lives like this. Let's see. Where did I save it? Oh, here it is. So you guys remember while we were doing one of our lives that there was a belief that maybe his mom had come to his defense and left a comment under one of our lives. Let me pull the message up, right? I want to make sure that we share this all right here. So here it is right here. In a statement that was placed on one of our videos, someone who we believe may be close to Neo stated that Neo did not hide out with his mom. He actually lives with his mom. He was never served. He never drove the Tesla. He is not in a plea deal, and he has nothing to hide. He was cooperating with the DA already, and the arrest is completely bogus. Nancy is Melinda Ducketing him. So again, if you guys haven't heard of the Melinda Duckett story, you guys should definitely go check that out. It has a lot to do with Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace even went through legal issues during this case. But what do you guys think of this? Do you guys think that this is somebody who's potentially close to Neo's circle? Let's see. I want to know what Ash said. What did Ash say? Where's her comment? Said, Chloe, do you think this could come after a deal is made? Would prosecution have an issue with this if they made a deal? Then Chloe said, what did Chloe say? Definitely is possible, but the thing that really gets me is the statement from his attorney that Neo is in no way involved. Not that he is innocent or not guilty, but no involvement. And that comes from our legal correspondent, Chloe, one of our mods. How do you guys feel about this comment, though? This one right here on the screen. They all are. So Rach says, I think it was his mom. Like Chloe said, I think he's nuts. Barbara Bish said he didn't show up to the grand jury. They don't like that, right? They'll come and get you, hence the arrest. East Coast is 4:45. So this is early for Flojo. Absolutely. I feel like I'm, wiping the crust out of my eyes. Oops, wrong song. There you go. Very interesting, right? Yeah, so this only happened on our post. I don't know if she was out there defending Neo on any other platform. However, we do have another screenshot, right? Another thing, because we did share this to Reddit. We did share this story that you're seeing right here on Reddit, asking people for their thoughts and what they thought. And then we saw this comment come up. So I don't know if you guys may have seen this, but this here again, somebody also mentioned, if Neo is not the last person to drive the Tesla, Steve owes Neo a huge apology. Or maybe Neo owes him a lawsuit. You guys, are you guys hearing this? If Neo is not the last person to drive the Tesla, Steve owes Neo a huge apology. Or Neo owes him a lawsuit. He heavily implied that it was Neo, but if it wasn't, and if Steve has proof it wasn't Neo, what a giant douche SF would be. That's my guess. I got like dog fur in my mouth. Gosh. What a giant douche SF would be. That's my guess. And why SF isn't releasing it. Uh-oh. SF has been accused. Oh, Lord. SF has been accused. Okay, these are not my words. I need to repeat that. This is somebody from Reddit, right? I'm reading a Reddit comment, and this is not coming from Flojo. It's just being reported from Flojo. Let me read that again. What a giant douche SF would be. That's my guess why SF isn't releasing it. SF has been accused of sexual assault, so he's no saint. Maybe the driver was Latino. And this was the part right here that made it really stick out for me, you guys. Maybe the driver was Latino and he mistook the driver for being Asian. And now SF doesn't want to look like a racist. A lot of maybes. But how about Steve release the imaginary footage that he has? This is wild. Now, mind you, this was back in January, right? Okay, so, I mean, the screenshot was taken 39 days ago, but I don't even know when I posted this on Reddit, but the comments just went wild. That's the part of the post that you have a problem with, Barbara Bish? How come? I know, right? It's crazy, though, because somebody close to the story may know. And so this is what made me think that this might be somebody who has ties directly to this case, whether directly or indirectly. So it is a little weird. It would be mad shady if SF let the Neo narrative go on so long, but I can't imagine he would do that. But I don't know. Mystical Magic said Neo is a very narcissistic, selfish person who only cares about himself. And that comes right after releasing those statements, right? And never once mentioning Celeste Rivas Hernandez once, right? And shout out to Barbara, the Boss Bitch for gifting 5 memberships. So if you received the membership from the Boss Bitch, throw some hearts in the chat for her. Make sure you thank her. Madeline, EBLB, Jane Frost, Shazza, and Sherry Rollins were gifted memberships. Awesome. Everybody, welcome to the Inner Circle, you guys. You are now a part of the Inner Circle. Thank you again, The Boss Bitch, for your support of the channel. Also celebrating 2 months as a member. Said, until I can sub to Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you. He is trying to save FaZe for being outed for being involved and knowing about Celeste's demise. I know. Well, one can only think, right? I'm curious to see what else he might know. Every probability posted that the OST himself. Sasha Bubbles, thank you so much for your 1999 pound super sticker. Thank you. We appreciate that, Sasha. Thank you so much. Got our UK family showing love. Thank you. How do you guys feel? So type of one in the chat if you think that this is somebody closely related to Neo, or maybe Neo himself. Type of 2 if you think it might be somebody else. It is a big risky bluff, right? If it is not him. Sydney says, I don't know. Let me go ahead and play a video from Kadisha Lynn. He put out a video, I think this was yesterday. Oh no, this was 3 hours ago. Hold on. Let me go, because she. Okay, we want to watch one. Whoops, here we go. Let's share this really quick, because she posted one 19 hours ago, and then she posted another one 3 hours ago. So let's watch this and get everybody's thoughts on it.
Some big news going on in the David case. Now we have Neo speaking out and also speaking about David. We have Steve Fisher, who just now shot back at.
Hold on. I just saw this in the comments, and then I want to make sure that we highlight this. Yeah, I think Rob is likely. And shout out to the Boss Bitch for a Cash App donation. We just received another Cash App donation, so thank you to Boss Bitch. Thank you. Yeah, funny, right? Are these people like literally canceling themselves out and leaving it up to us to decide who could have been the last person to move that Tesla? Because Asia says she's innocent with everything. Neo just came out and said, it ain't me. We haven't heard anything from Rob. So I'm curious if Rob might have a lot of explaining to do.
Everything that Neo said on his Instagram. I'm also going to break down the highlights of the CNN investigation video that dropped earlier today that they are making people pay for just to know the information. But
we also covered that last night too, but that's, different story.
We're going to first get started with all this Neo stuff, because this is crazy. Neo took to his Instagram stories and he set it to friends only, and TMZ was actually able to catch it. He said, I think the worst part is that I've told many people that I trust and I thought knew me as a person, my side of things. All for that to be thrown out the window as soon as I get arrested, and they slap that head's name next to mine. I'm not gonna lie, that whole part is absolutely crazy, because this was your BFF before all of this went down. And for the record, the thing I was arrested for wasn't even charged. They never filed it. And my warrant was retracted because there is more to the story than what's going on in the news. So it sounds like he's claiming that he knows more about this story than what's going on in the news. And honestly, this whole thing is making me think, in my opinion, that Neo, whatever he might know, he probably told that grand jury. And I honestly feel like if it's true that his warrant was retracted, that's probably why. And I said this before. I had a feeling either one, he didn't talk, or two, he probably took some type of deal to give up whatever information he had to get far away from.
Want to give a quick shout out to the Boss Bitch again for another Cash App donation. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Boss Bitch. Big supporter of the channel. We do appreciate your support. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and continue.
From the situation. And now that we're all of a sudden seeing him call David a head, that makes me seem like he's trying to push himself away from this situation. Then he goes on and said, thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way. And boy, do I got all my receipts for things. Ha 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 ha. The ignorance is just crazy. And I just sat on it. I was sitting here waiting because I knew Steve Fisher was going to react to what Ne-Yo says because he has called out Ne-Yo many, many times. Steve Fisher said, so here's the thing, Ne-Yo. If you have to tell my side of things, that means that you were involved in the things. I just want everyone to believe you did less of the things. People who weren't involved don't have a my side of things. And how tone deaf are you actually? Your Weep For Me post has 11 references to you and not a single mention of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who is gone. She is gone because of the things that you're trying to explain away. Ooh. Nobody cares about your feelings, Ne-Yo. This is about Celeste and justice in her name. And this has me on the edge of my seat because we all know that Steve Fisher has a video of the last person that parked the Tesla. He's made it clear he doesn't want to release it because of the investigation, and we're not sure where the investigation actually is, except that David is a target. And mind you, Steve Fisher made it clear it wasn't David that was the last person that parked that Tesla. And we know based off the grand jury documents
let's go back, make sure we rehear that again, right?
Wasn't David that was actually is, except that David is a target. And mind you, Steve Fisher made it clear it wasn't David that was the last person that parked that Tesla.
And that was something that we didn't know for a very long time, right? But now we know that David was not the one. And we made a video on how David was potentially the person that may have moved it. But SF has made comments saying like, he wouldn't ask somebody to move. He wouldn't ask himself to move the car, right? But SF did come out and say I think it was on News Nation, he clarified and stated, it wasn't David that moved the car, so who was it?
And we know based off the grand jury documents that we saw, at least right now, it seems like David is their only target. And now we have Ne-Yo sitting here saying he didn't do anything, So I feel like he better be careful because I think there is a possibility at this point, if Steve Fisher feels like they're not going after anybody else, he might honestly just try to release that video footage of who was last driving the Tesla. Like, I don't think it's that good of an idea that Ne-Yo is poking the bear right now. Now we're going to go ahead and break down highlights from the CNN investigation into what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez and the connection with David. A lot of it is things that we already know, but there are some highlights that I feel like are important to talk about and a couple new things. So the first thing, they do this whole timeline breakdown of events, and I think it was really interesting. CNN claims...
Yeah, right, Tambo. Rob as a bodyguard? I know it's just a question, but yeah, right. You think I don't know. He's a baseball player. He's probably... we definitely know that he's taller than David, but I don't know if he's serving as a bodyguard. He might need bodyguard moving forward, right? Just to save himself and protect himself while he's out in public. But nobody's seen him since his tour got canceled. So I'm a little sus of that.
That they were able to confirm that this Twitch video was from January of 2024. And as you can see, somebody actually said David and Celeste island trip. One of Celeste's friends confirmed to CNN that this was in fact Celeste in this video. Then they go to February 15th, and this is the first time that Celeste was reported missing. As you can...
That's a good point too, right, Margarita Idol? No one's seen Rob. False? Has anybody seen Rob? I don't know if anybody's seen him since the day that he came out of that grand jury. Hey, and shout out to Robin. Robin just sent us a donation on Venmo, so thank you so much for that. We appreciate that kind donation. Thank you, Robin. Just saw that right now. Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
See right here's the date, 2/14 is when she was last seen. Then this email to David's management team happened on February 19th, where it said there had been talks that the artist David possibly had something to do with the disappearance of 13-year-old Celeste Rivas. And they said,
and we talked about this last night, right? Because we kind of reviewed an old podcast that Lauren Conlon did with SF Investigates, and basically SF was detailing this email, right? And he was very hesitant about giving up the date that it came out. But apparently it did. And so there's he was giving out some clues, basically stating that this email may have came from somebody who is close to Celeste and her family. So I think it's odd. I think it's odd. It came out on the 19th, which was 3 days after Asia made a comment to somebody's story regarding the missing persons poster and saying that that girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, was David's girlfriend.
The statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. And CNN actually talked to the person that posted this email for the world to see, but they did not want to put their name out there publicly because they were terrified. And then Steve Fisher talks about how a couple days after this email, Celeste Rivas ended up going back home. CNN actually reached out to David's management team to ask about things, and they declined to comment. Then you all remember this picture of David. Well, CNN was able to pinpoint the time that this photo was taken of David around the corner from where Celeste lived. They say this part is very crucial because it's in between the time frame that Celeste was missing, and it is anywhere from January to March of 2024. Then Celeste Rivas was reported again missing in March on March 18th of 2024, and then she was reported missing, obviously for the last time, on April 5th. CNN also said they went to try to interview Celeste's family and her close friends, but nobody would give any statements on camera. Left it at that. We don't know if they actually said anything to CNN. Also said that David's attorney declined to comment because of the grand jury investigation. And really, the only other piece of information that I never heard before was CNN talking to the people that worked at the tow yard where David's car was taken to. And we know when this car was picked up, it seems like it was possibly hit or in an accident before because of the bag, and we heard about this. The person that worked at the tow yard that CNN interviewed said it wasn't just like this in the back. It also looked like it had been hit or something in the front of the car too. Honestly, the rest of the CNN interview is things that we have already heard, we've already seen in the news, and things that we've already covered. Wouldn't tell anybody to really go and pay to watch it. Obviously, I did, to pick out any information that might be useful and to relay it to you guys. Definitely staying tapped in to see if anything else happens with this Neo situation, because I feel like it's a big deal that he even opened his mouth. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
There you go. Hold on. Let me bring this into the picture because we do have. This is photos of the Tesla right in front of the mansion, but here it doesn't look like there's any sort of damage from the front. Oh, dang. It's different. So here it doesn't show any damage. Let me see. She also did another video about 3 hours ago. We'll go ahead and play this really quick. And Kadisha says that she's got a big theory on everything. So curious to see what you guys think about it.
On why we are seeing Neo ranting and raving on Instagram. I came across this video the other day of this creator named Matt posting that another one of David's friends was reportedly subpoenaed. Just want to say this is just speculation on my part. I have no way to verify what this creator was saying about David's other friend Chase being subpoenaed. I haven't seen it reported in any news channel, and I also haven't seen it talked about on Reddit or anything like that. But let me tell you, the timing of this with Neo's crash out is starting to pique my interest. And that's because Chase seems to have been in the friend group with David, with Neo, and with Asia. I was with them at Coachella in April of 2025. And obviously their friendship with him and them being seen on streams together and on social media wouldn't surprise me if he was subpoenaed to the grand jury. He also has a similar preference of creating these music videos just like David.
So this is Chase Keith, right? We did a whole episode on him the other day. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and show that video some love too.
He is in this music video for Buzzkill, and I don't even have to explain it any further. And here is another picture of him in this same music video, which is obviously disturbing. It's really odd because David has liked his things in the past, like this photo right here, and now he's actually unliked this video for whatever reason. Kind of similar with Neo. I've also seen Neo turn around and scrub David off his social media when all of this started coming out. After Matt posted his video of Chase reportedly being subpoenaed to the grand jury, he would then post this on his Instagram stories, and I was able to catch it. And he said, "Done being Mr. Nice Guy now. This year, I'm pissed. Don't piss me off, and we'll both get our way. I have my dad's last name for a reason.
Ooh.
Don't make me show you why they call me the Beast." I have to say, I just think this whole timeline of this allegedly coming out about Chase testifying to the grand jury and Neo posting these on his Instagram stories is very odd, because in these Instagram stories, it seems like he is hinting at people that he trusts or he thought knew him, saying something. He said, "I think the worst part is that I've told many people that I trust and I thought knew me as a person, my side of things. All for that to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested, and then they slap that D-head's name next to mine." A lot of us were just focused on him calling David a D-head. We're like, oh my gosh, he might actually be opening his mouth now about something that he knows about David. Seems like the first part of this, he is actually calling out somebody that he believed was close to him after he told them his side of things. And it seems like for some reason, they put his name next to David's after he was arrested. Which really makes me wonder, was Neo's name brought up by somebody else in the grand jury proceedings? Then he went on to say, "And for the record, the thing I was arrested for wasn't even charged. They never filed it, and my warrant was retracted because there is more to the story than what's on the news." And then he posted this next one that said, "So effing happy. I'm moving out of this F state. Sick of the drama."
Oh, and this was the one that we were talking about yesterday, right? That there was a post that he put up. TMZ removed it, basically saying that he's so effing happy to. Oh, we'll let Kadisha explain it.
Sick of fake people and sick of this ass status culture where people care more about money and clout than basic level of human connection. And obviously the last one, thankfully I'm legally fine in every way, and boy do I got all my receipts for things. Ha 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 ha. After rereading into the way Neo said that, it really does seem like he is actually throwing shots at whoever he thought was close to him and whoever he says he told his side of the story to, changed and started putting his name next to David. I honestly just believe that this time frame of when we are also hearing that Chase was allegedly subpoenaed to the grand jury as well, who hung around David and Neo both, is odd. I also thought it was interesting that TMZ did like a live about Neo posting these to Instagram. And he said that David was allegedly really caught off guard that Neo was doing this whole switch up. And just listen to the way that Harvey Levin says this, because he says it like he is sure, and he says he can't explain more than that.
What happened between Neo and David? Something clearly happened. And based on what we know, this may be somewhat of a surprise to David that this happened. I can't say more than that, but this may have caught David off guard that Neo is broken this way. And I think it's significant.
So another thing that he says is the grand jury did not meet this week, and he is kind of wondering if this means that the grand jury is completely done. And I do think that is a possibility, but there is another thing that could be going on. So we know right now that there is a fight between David's parents getting subpoenaed to this grand jury. Tried to fight it in the Texas courts, in the lower courts, and then that judge denied it, and they appealed that. So I believe as of right now, it's still going through the court system on whether David's parents are going to have to appear for this grand jury. So that part could mean that they are basically waiting in limbo and they're not going to return until it gets figured out about David's parents. But it could also mean that they are potentially done too. TMZ is also reporting that they heard it is very likely that they are about to hand down an indictment. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Oh, okay, hold on. Not that.
Right here on the back.
Yeah, hold on. I don't know what that is. Oh, so what do you guys think? Jazz, you made it just in time. We haven't we just kind of reviewed some of the stuff that went on yesterday. The King's Daughter gifted a membership. Welcome and thank you for being a member. Chloe says, I think the grand jury is waiting on Texas court to finish litigating the issue with his parents and his brother. I think that's the one thing that I think we're all waiting for, right? Lauren Conlon was the first person to exclusively tell us that they were expecting witnesses to testify all throughout February, and we're literally halfway through March now. And I do agree. I think the grand jury is really just waiting to see what's going to happen with the parents. They could be the last missing piece to this puzzle. And we know that, the family filed the writ of habeas corpus, so they can just kind of stall things. And I think that I honestly think, Chloe, and I agree with you. I think that this is, what we're waiting for. This is the holdup. I know Norma says, geez, unless the prosecutors felt like they had enough without his parents. Yep. Shout out to Bean Baby for becoming a member. Oh, the wrong one, right? That was this one. Well, you've been a member for a while, Bean Baby. You probably just renewed. Right. BS, right? BS. Was his brother closer in age to Celeste? Well, we just found out recently when the court documents were released that his brother Caleb is actually 18. 18 years and 3 months is what the court document said, where his parents granted another stay. I think, honestly, Chloe, where are we at with that after the court documents? I know that they filed and it was denied, but I don't really understand all that legal jargon in those court docs. But we do have Chloe, our legal correspondent, who's gone through every single page of that document. Goal says, here's what we do know about Neo before you came onto the app seeking attention. Neo, your arrest happened because a judge issued a warrant when you did not comply with the subpoena to testify. Neo, you had to be transported back to Los Angeles and booked into jail. Then you were released on $60,000 bail. Neo, the grand jury, for what they needed from you, right? Your testimony. Just be quiet, says Goal. I love this. Goal always hooking it up with the latest updates. David also does have a little sister, but I don't know if they're gonna have her testify and whatnot. I don't know if they find a need for it, but who knows? Who knows at all? Chloe is basically giving this update saying it's being litigated in the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals, which is essentially the Supreme Court over criminal matters in that jurisdiction. I'm assuming that's what it says. It went through 3 levels of the court systems, and now we wait. You guys, it's crazy though, because ever since today, right, Neo has actually spoken out once again, and he took to Instagram. But this time, he didn't put it as a close friend story. He put it up for everybody to see. And so we were 31 minutes late from his posting. But basically what he was stating, and this is new, you guys. This is all brand new. This came out about 31 minutes ago. Neo basically was saying, I'm reading this for the first time. I had people send this to me and basically saying that he spoke out, but I didn't read it. My first thought was, let's just talk about it during live, right? Basically, this is what he said. Me and my lawyer were actually planning on making a statement soon, but obviously now is as best of a time. What? Now is as best of a time since TMZ decided to leave out the actual full statement. Here you go. I don't know if there was a previous statement that was put out, but Neo says that there was something more that TMZ did not put out. And I guess that may be a reference to there's more than what is put out on the news statement from him, right? Good question, Barbara Bear. What are we waiting for, right? What are we waiting for? Dude's grammar is pretty stupid, but so is mine. Mine is too. So it is what it is. Tammy says, so I've been trying to change my name so you guys would know who I am. This is Tammy. It said something about me having to wait 4 days to change my name. I don't know why. It's okay, Tammy. You don't have to change it. It's okay to have a different name on Twitch. But if you want to change it, it's your handle. I don't know what to put here, so I put this name. It says, I don't believe a word Neo says. Not now, not ever. LOL. Jazzy says, well, let's hear it, Neo. And I don't know. This is coming from his attorney, not Neo, right? I wonder if his attorney's posting it too. David's family was granted a stay for now, and yes, being litigated. They seem to be standing 10 toes down, but hopefully it goes in favor of the grand jury for Celeste's sake. 100%. Next page, please. Okay. I know. You guys are excited to hear it. All right, so this is a statement from, hold on, let me just make sure. Which one's first? Hold on. Let me make sure we're reading this right. Okay, good. We've got the timeline down. Good. All right. Hold on. Okay, so it says here, my client, Mr. Langston, will not make any public statements at this time as the investigation is ongoing. What I can share is that since returning to Los Angeles, Mr. Langston has fully cooperated with law enforcement and will continue to assist the prosecution as needed. As the investigation continues, it will become clear that Mr. Langston played no part in this heinous crime and that he was and continues to be wrongfully persecuted in the court of public opinion, resulting in the unwarranted and belligerent harassment directed towards my client and his family. We sincerely hope that justice is ultimately served for the victim and her family. They don't mention Celeste Rivas Hernandez. They do refer to her as the victim and her family. I really wish they would have mentioned her name, but I don't know if that's, legal mind games that they don't adhere to. But it continues to go on, right? So there was a third thing that he put out today. And he said, I understand due to my silence and the silence in general, it leaves a void. Okay, we know this one isn't Neo, right? Here, let me see if we can. I understand due to my silence and the silence in general, it leaves a void of information that everyone wants to fill. But at the end of the day, this case isn't about me. Here's the first time we're hearing that. This case isn't about me. It isn't about you. It's about getting justice for the victim. Can't even say her name, right? For the victim and her family. And I care a lot more about that than trying to fill that void because of public opinion. Obviously wasn't doing my part at first, but now I am. So here is an admission of not doing what was right the first time around, but now he's doing it, right? I've stayed loyal to my mindset and I will continue to. I'm not publicly going to give any opinion or emotion about this case because I find it disrespectful and not in my place to weigh in on it, especially as it's still ongoing. I think this, he's probably referring to how other people have gone about this situation and maybe possibly be referencing people like Asia, right? Because Asia decided to go on Reddit and voice her opinion, and all she got was a ton of backlash, right? This honestly, I think there couldn't have been a better way for this kind of statement to go out, whether you guys agree or disagree with me, but it's better than going out on Reddit and saying, hey, this is Asia and you guys don't know my personality. I had an OF page. I was an OF model and I was groomed and, David lied to me because I thought he was my friend and he had all of her IDs and shit like that. Like, shut up. Don't nobody care about what you have to say, right? You should have spoken out a long time ago, but you decided to go on Reddit and make a fool of yourself. Let's see. It says, I'm not going to spam post to justify and perform my feelings. Oh, so I really think, is this a dig at Asia too? I'm not going to spam post to justify and perform my feelings and thoughts for the internet, trying to satisfy people who have already made up their minds about me. In time, the record will speak for itself, and I'm moving on with my life. Oh, Lord. Shout out to Strategic, but I have to use this.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, Strategic. I had to. Just one time. Ooh, there's a lot of comments to catch up on. Hold on. Trust, they are narcissistic like I ain't never seen before. B-Baby said, I don't think the dickhead is really an insult. I believe I heard Neo call that to his face, so he possibly still cool with him, but can't say too much. Ooh, it took a lawyer to actually talk about Celeste, and we all know that is a PR move. They are disgusting. These people don't care. Yikes. Let's see. Narcissistic, I think they just don't care. Like they are empty. Yep. 2 thumbs down says Jazzy. He didn't wait. This gen is stupid. Can't talk, right? I know, right? His lawyer wrote it. That's why. Yeah. I think so. She actually said murder. She did, right? She did say that in the Reddit post. So I do. I know. The way Asia was talking about people of color. Oh, God. Don't even get me started with that one, right? The people of color. Yeah, that statement was funny. Tambo says, I don't believe any of them. I don't think their families are in on it too. Oh. Master Dad said, I want to know the name on the fake IDs. Right? Did they all say Celeste Rivas Hernandez or did she even have a different name? I want to say they probably had her name on it though. Perform my feelings, right? Yeah, I think that was pretty funny. Oh, what a kind choice of words he used for this post. That right there, in my opinion, it says everything. Right? Isn't that nice? Isn't it nice to hear, Ms. Dizzle, right? That Neo Langston still has a life while a 14-year-old girl was killed, dismembered, chopped up, and stuffed in the front trunk of a Tesla. While those 3 were on tour, right? Now, again, we've mentioned before in the past, if Neo has absolutely no involvement in this situation, we will send Neo the biggest apology. Because we've made videos where there was speculation that he may have potentially moved the Tesla, or he may have had any involvement in the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So we'll find out, I guess, in due time. So, and then Iraq says, oh my God, I think Rob moved the car. Well, let's go back to this. Where's this? I didn't even finish. Or did I say, hold on, we're going to go back to this. If Neo is not the last person to drive the Tesla, Steve owes Neo a huge apology, or maybe Neo owes him a lawsuit. He heavily implied it was Neo, but if it wasn't, and if Steve has proof it wasn't Neo, what a giant douche SF would be. That's my guess why SF isn't releasing it. SF has been accused of SA, so he's no saint. Maybe the driver was Latino. What? Maybe the driver was Latino and he mistook the driver for being Asian. And now SF doesn't want to look like a racist. A lot of maybes, but how about Steve release the imaginary footage he has? Yikes. Yikes, you guys. What do you guys think about that? Do you think there's any truth? I want to bring this video back up too. And I want to just kind of take a look at this. You guys remember when Neo was seen walking out of the courthouse? There was some talk about the way that Neo looked when he walked out. You can see here that he's like, oh, fuck. TMZ caught me. They see me. Then they proceed to ask him questions. But I want you guys to take a look, because to me, it looked like there was some sort of a smirk that he gave. Right. And not everybody, but some people caught that smirk. And some people were like, ooh, Did he just tell on David? Here, let's take a look at this. Did you guys see that? Here, hold on. Let's kind of play this back. We'll put the volume on it too. What Asia is a right older than Celeste, never had curly hair. I can tell them apart. There was no Celeste clone, just keeps dressed up in outfits. Big. SF did say he will lay boggies to see who will speak. Oh yeah, drop them breadcrumbs, SF. I know he's I don't know. Steve Fisher's always busy though. He's always out traveling, so he's probably out in Arizona right now. But here we go. Let's see.
Hey Neo, why are you being called to testify today?
Oh, did you guys see that little smirk? To me, that was a huge smirk.
Testify today.
That don't look like a straight face, but it looks like a smirk to me.
How did everything go in there?
Is it just me, or did I see things?
Why were you avoiding testifying? Do you think David is innocent? Is there anything you want to tell the public about the David case? Anything?
I did not know Neo wore glasses.
About walking into court today.
Although there's the sniper, Beth
Tell us
Silverman.
anything about where you are in the case? Why is Neo being called as a witness? Why hasn't David been arrested, or where's David at? Can you tell us anything? Thank you.
His lawyer smirked too. So, you know, definitely he was instructed by everybody, or at least his attorney, to not say anything, right? I think that they basically told him, don't you say a word. Do not say anything. Hold on a second. You saw that on Trapmore. Yeah, his lawyer definitely smirked. You saw the side eye, right? SF is pissed, and I think that he thinks that 6 months and still no arrest. Yeah, it's been a long time. We haven't heard anything. If he was innocent, wouldn't he be saying, leave me the F alone at this point? He could be, right? I think that it was around July 29th, right before the tour started. Baby, don't talk about your innocence when you know about your BFF, PDF friends' crimes.
Allegedly.
Right? Let's be clear, knowing and not helping her is aiding them, in my opinion. Lorraine Crawford, welcome. Hey, besties, you really are early, but I'm in the UK, so just started watching. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we are early. It's Saturday over here, and it's just, it's 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I noticed Neo didn't wear one of those stars on his face. Oh, he didn't copy his bestie. Let's see. Hey, he's trying to get the heat off of him because guilty. I find it funny that these reporters always ask the dumbest questions when they know they aren't going to get an answer, right? Let's watch it again.
Hey Neo, why are you being called to testify today?
You can tell, right? Because when he came out, his mouth was literally closed. But then as he kept walking, his mouth kind of opened after he smirked.
Hey Neo, why are you being called to testify today? How did everything go in there? Why were you avoiding testifying?
Now I'm looking
How
at
did everything go in
the
there?
lawyer. You can see he's like, don't say anything. I told you.
Why were you avoiding testifying? Do you think David is innocent? Is there anything you want to tell the public about the David case? Anything?
Damn, what I would do to be a fly on the wall during this conversation, or during the grand jury,
About
for that
walking into
matter.
court today. Can you tell us anything about where you are in the case? Why is Neo being called as a witness?
Yep. Lorraine, your little Frenchie has an ear infection. That makes two of us, because I have one too, but it's in both of my ears. I've got a double ear infection. That, I'm not going to lie, that pain hurt. Still hurts.
Why hasn't David been arrested, or where's David at? Can you tell us anything? Thank you.
Close says, if what Neo is saying is true, big if, but a certain possibility, I would be irritated as hell. I think all of us would be completely pissed off too. But you know what? If Neo is innocent, you know, so be it. As long as he is helping the prosecutors get justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez, then that's all that matters, right? I think obviously everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and for that matter, we do have to allow the courts to make that decision. Now, if he's getting off on a deal, that's a different story, right? But I guess the whole point is to seek justice and put the accountability on somebody, right? I don't know. Lorraine said you normally watch through the night as it's early morning normally. Oh, is that so? What time is it right now? Where you're at? In the UK, you said? Yep, rap snitches telling all their business. Yep. That's right. And if he is getting a deal and this goes to court, we will know that. Ooh, Lord. What's worse, being a snitch on the streets or being a snitch in jail? 934 in the UK. Oh, damn. So Sarah, if you are watching in the vertical mode, which I see it shows me here that you're watching in the vertical mode, you can come on over to the page and watch it in landscape. We are streaming on both views, so you have the option. So the King's Daughter, if you want to watch in landscape mode, Antonia Derek, I see that you guys are in the mobile mode too. You guys can click on the page and check out the landscape. The view is a little bit better in my opinion, but I mean, it is what it is. You choose. You can watch us on Twitch, you can watch us on Kick. We're on all three platforms today, so we're just hanging out. Crazy though, right? Close set on the streets. At least you can hide in your house or under mommy's bed. Well, I mean, it looks like Neo might be moving back to Montana from what it looks like, right? I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's going to be staying here in Los Angeles for that matter. I don't know. Maybe in Montana he can walk around freely and not have to watch over his back, right? Close said, the only thing I can think of is they wanted to get through the grand jury testimony and make sure all his ducks were in a row. Yep. It's funny he hates clout now, but he's literally a clout chaser. Oh yeah, where's that? Hold on. We have his Instagram over here. Let's share this. This guy literally gained 200 subscribers overnight. He had like 2750 yesterday. And now he woke up with 2965. Let's go refresh it, see if he got any more. 2971. I'm surprised he didn't block me though. Me and my lawyers were actually planning on making a statement soon. Okay, so there you go. These are his stories right here. Where is that? He's got a ton of stories. I mean, he sure was living the life, out here in LA. Going to all the parties, going to all the clubs, hanging out with Celeste Herrera and Vanessa, playing indoor golf. Oh, he's so good. He's like aw, how cute. Eating Korean barbecue. Going to raves, festivals, sorry. Is that Asia? Oh, Lord. Notice me, senpai. Still going to parties. There's Trent. Okay. You got a Labubu fetish. There's the infamous photo that was taken July 27th at David's house. July 28th was the party. Who was it? Who was it? He was seen the night before wearing something very distinct. Trent and Darwin are next, says Sydney. Neo got some clout. They got shut down. Domo. There's Trent. Neo was just a party animal, huh? August 17th. We're literally going through his whole entire story. There's Ryan. Aside from his relationship to David, he is just like any other LA trust fund brat. As easy as it is to hate on him, he's just living life in his own little bubble. Very true, right? Very, very true. Did any of these kids go to college, or is this their live streaming? You know what? A lot of these younger people, if you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they will tell you that they do want to be streamers. So go figure. They just want to grow up and be YouTubers. It's so easy to live stream and make money in a lot of ways. It is, right? I mean, shoot, it's a nice little side hustle to have. Some people make streaming their full-time jobs, and I ain't mad at that because I've seen some of the, what potential content creators can rack in. Jesus Christ. That money's no joke. You have to be genuine, though, that you have to be a real person. You know what, though? I don't think so, because everybody knows that Instagram is a place to pretend to be somebody you're not, right? Let's see. I just seen a post up right now. The Parker Bordeaux just commented on. Oh no, hold on. It says, let me see. A boxer that David has followed has commented on his Instagram page, which is restricted to comments on any post of his to the public, but the only people he follows has commented. So it says, the Parker Bordeaux left a comment under David's post, and it says, your suffering soon will bring joy to so many people. Also says to stop deleting his comments, little man. Also states that David has been deleting some of his comments. He's scared because he knows the time is coming. It's a new post that I just saw. That's true because Kim K is unlikable to the max. You know what? 808 though, there's gonna be millions of people that hate her, but she could give two shits what we think, right? She's a fucking billionaire. Lady fucking makes money in her sleep. When she shits, she's just making money. She's making more money than she can spend, right? They can't tell a 14-year-old from a 19-year-old college girl. Yep. What does a 14-year-old have to talk about with a 19-year-old? The same thing we can ask David, right? What does a 20-year-old have anything to do with a little 13-year-old? Kardashian, which I'm not going to say anything about the Kardashians. They got some deep pockets and some crazy connections. I know, right? They only want to hang out with kids. All right, you guys. Oh, hold on. Let's see this. Everyone tap in. Let's see you as a kid. You know what? Hold on. This kid looks so much. Hold on. Because now I need to look something up. If that is Neo as a kid, let me see. Hold on. All right, you guys. So I want you guys to take a look at this photo right here. We'll just move this over. This person right over here. You guys see this photo of Neo, right, as a kid. Does that photo of Neo as a kid look like this person right here? Y'all tell me. Tammy says 100%. Yeah, it does. 100%. Is that kid Neo? So this is apparently. So I found a clip of the movie that his mother produced, and Neo is listed as an actor in the movie, right? He's given credit on IMDb. Here, we'll just. Oh yeah, the credits do. The credits of the movie do give credit to Neo Langston for being in this. I think the movie was released in 2010. Not gonna lie, he was a cute little kid. You waving by? Okay, here. Let's use this photo and compare it to this one. It's probably a better comparison. Definitely had to be the same kid. Yeah, his mom was involved in I don't know if it was creating or producing The Real World back in the 90s. If you know, you grown folks remember that show. But she's very involved in the movie industry. So you guys can go look her up. Go dig on the Reddits. Yeah, cute little kid, man. Hopefully the LA lifestyle didn't ruin him. But who knows? All right, you guys, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. Just know that it is Saturday. So if anything does crack, anything is new, we will be back. So I do want to thank all of you guys who did come out and support for today. Let me give a shout out to Boss Bitch for sending 5 gifted memberships, celebrating 2 months as a member. Sasha for her 19.99 super sticker. We appreciate that. King's Daughter, 1 month membership. Thanking whoever gifted her. Could have been Coco Mom or the Boss Bitch, because they are heavy supporters of the channel. And then Bean Baby, resubscribe. I know that you're not a new member. You've been a member for a long time. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're gonna call it a day here, but stay tuned, you guys. I was just telling people that we did end up getting a PO box, because some people have been asking me to get one. So if you guys are on the Discord, I did drop the PO box address. You know, if any of you guys want to send Yoshi some treats or anything, you guys can find it there. If you guys are new members, we do have a Discord where the conversation and literally all the information takes place in the Discord before it goes out into the live. Check back on the community wall. I did just post a link. I think it was either today or yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. You guys join the Discord. I know we keep it very cool there. A lot of really good people, like-minded people are sharing their thoughts, and the conversation continues. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will see you guys later. If anything cracks, we'll be back on. Take care, you guys. Peace.